Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. First of all, a bit of an apology because Chris and I have been missing off your airways. Unfortunately, real life got in the way. Chris has been working. I've been on jury duty, but here we are. Better late than never, to say. So, how are you doing, Chris? How's life treating you, sir?
I'm all right. My apologies because I just couldn't find the time. I've had a way too much on. Yeah. So hopefully now that we've got the other side of, well, when we get the other side of Christmas, things might get a bit easier. So my apologies.
No problems at all, sir. So I was on jury duty, so I wasn't much help either. Well, tonight I'm glad to say we have a special guest that's joined us. Colin, welcome along, mate.
Hi, Kevin. Glad to be here. Hi, Chris. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, nice to have you. Even though you've still got my bloody chair there, I notice.
I know. What can I say? Thank you. It's a really comfy chair.
Right, what we're going to do tonight then, guys, is we're going to have a look back, if you like, at the season. Have a look at the finishing places, as it were, after week 10. And then we're going to talk about the playoffs and who's playing who and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so shall we start off in the PFC? If we look at the divisional champions on the PFC, we've got the Generals, we've got the Rivets, we've got the Eagles, and we've got the Bay Packers. Are there any sort of surprises there, anyone would say? Colin, what do you recommend? Is it pretty much as we thought? Or?
Pretty much. A little bit. I thought the Lincoln Rapiers would do a little bit better myself. And they fell at the last week and out the playoffs as well. But Newcastle Eagles, Beverly Bay Packers, I would have expected them to win. And Rivets, Conrad Rivets, well done, Conrad. 100 games unbeaten and still going. With Lomo, well played, sir. Too good for everybody.
Yeah, he's certainly doing well. Chris, have you got any surprises there? What about the Rapiers in your division? Was that a sort of bit of a surprise? Or?
Well, I kind of really feel sorry for Phil because the way it works out, he goes and beats the Eagles away from home week 9. Yeah. Then he's facing the Generals the following week and he loses by 2 points. And then insult to injury, he finishes 6-4, same as Pete with the Rough Riders, but doesn't get in. So he must feel quite aggrieved. I'd be well pissed off. Pardon my French.
Yeah, I think it would be a bit much. What do we reckon to the Generals then? I see that I don't think Evans actually signed up yet, has he, for next season?
No, it's a bit strange actually. It's a bit like the Berlin Fire, haven't either? They're apparently pulling out, which is a bit odd. But who knows? Each their own.
Yeah, no, I suppose so. Okay, let's have a look then at the look at the LFC. The again, divisional champions on the LFC. Any surprises there, Chris, for you? We've got the Phoenix. We've got the Giant Hornets, we've got the Weasels, and we've got the Sharks.
Well, I mean, the only one that was close really was the Sharks.
Yeah,
I think the others, we could have had this discussion 5 weeks ago and we'd have had the same conclusion. So, I can't believe the Statesman let me down, but there you go.
Yes, I forgot to wind you up about that one. Yeah, your pick for the bowl. My God.
I thought the Rhinos, the first half of the season, I think they were 4-1 on losing to me, and then they lost the second half of the season 1-4. I thought they were going to be a lot closer. And as you said, the West with the Sharks and the Buccaneers decided on the last day down to points difference. Identical divisional record, just points difference.
Yeah, no, it's got to feel a bit sorry for old Adrian there. It's like
well, he had a slow start. I think he changed things up. He went from rush. I think he was trying to rush everywhere. He went to passing a bit. I did my research right, and from 0-3 to get to 6-4, no mean feat. So
Well, so what do you think changed it? Was it tactically? Do you think he changed his game plans, or
I think he changed from a rush attack to a rush offense to a balanced or more of a passed offense. That's what it seemed to me from a brief look I'd had.
Yeah.
A bit of a strange one there, though, Kev, because he was really down on himself at the start of the season.
Yeah.
He was really sort of hyper self-critical, and then he managed to turn it around.
if you look at the week 3 against the Phoenix, I think they did 102 yards passing. The next week against the Irish, they're over 400.
Yeah.
460 odd. And it was pretty much chucking the ball all the way along. What did he do against me? I'm sure he did a bit of both against me. Yeah, 200 passing and 150 rushing against me. So he seemed to change his game plan to get a bit more balanced, a bit more pass orientated.
And is that a feasible thing to do, Colin? Because obviously it paid off for him, but do not most people, because I know myself, I tend to have one type of attack. It's not that easy to switch, from one to the other.
He must have either had the players or there was a weakness in the other team's defensive zone that enabled him to do it. But I run what I do, and I can't change to long zone because I don't have the personnel to do it. I just stick what I do. And
unfortunately, bloody well, mate.
I'd just like to have an attack.
or a defence, Chris.
Or a defence, one or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter which, does it, mate? No.
Not really.
Okay, so basically, Phoenix, again, Ian's come onto the scene, burst onto the scene, 10-0. That is some performance, isn't it?
It is. He's had a couple of close games in there. Again, he only just beat the Rhinos by 3.
Yeah.
And I think he was 1 score to the Statesman. I lost by a safety on the last kick of the game the first week. So, yeah, he's done very well. It's always nice to go 10-0.
Yeah.
So it's not something you do every season unless you call Conrad. Well done, Conrad.
Yeah, so he's #1 seed in the LFC, sir. So, taking your spot, Colin. How dare he?
Yeah. I'd like to say I'll be in the final with him and I can get revenge, but we've got these playoff wildcard games to go, and then there's a couple more games to go after that. So.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's switch down and have a look at the wildcard, seeing you just mentioned that. Shall we have a look at the situation in the PFC then? Because that went down to the wire. There's a steward's inquiry. Everyone went diving for the rule book to see.
There was 2 stewards' inquiries. I think the second horse got bumped out as well. Because it was first the Rough Riders, I think. Then it was the Rapiers, and then it went to the Maroons. Which, according to the rules, it's absolutely right.
Yeah, no, but it's an interesting one because for those that don't know, basically the first playoff place has to go to a second place team. I'm correct in saying that?
That's correct, yeah.
Yep, so the highest second place team was in fact the Surfers. Yeah. And then the second playoff place can go to any team, including the third team, providing their second team has gone forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had a situation where we had the Rapiers on 6-4 with 62 points. Ironically, we had the Rough Riders who were also 6-4 with more points, but because the Rapiers hadn't gone into second place, that disqualified the Rough Riders from taking the playoff spot. And then we had the Maroons who were also on 6-4, just the same as the Rapiers, but they had 4 more points difference than the Rapiers did. Is that correct? That's my understanding. And therefore, they got in as the third team. So basically in the playoffs, then we have the Generals, we have the Rivets, we have the Eagles, and we have the Bay Packers, and we also have the second place team in the North, which is the Surfers, and the third place team in the North, which is the Maroons. That is probably, in my memory, Colin, you've been around a little bit longer than I have in the game, as it were, but one of the closest finishes we've ever had for a playoff position, is it not?
There was 3 or 4 teams that could have had it. It was all up to grabs on the last week, and some people grabbed it and some people didn't, unfortunately. But it just shows PFC North, Conrad's at the top, but the other 2 teams both in the playoffs. So well done, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the last week was sort of, you can look at lots of games, the Surfers, getting a 54 point differential. I suppose they were already there. But you're sort of looking at the other games, and this was all right down to the very last the last game of the season, as it were. You've got the Maroons losing by 39 against the Rivets. Some people would say that's not a bad result, but that sort of buggered up their sort of difference, as it were. It was still sufficient to get them past the Rapiers, who lost on the last game of the season by 2 points, as we said a bit earlier on. So it could have swung around quite easily there, quite, very, very close. And what about the LFC, Chris? Who are the? We've got the Fire.
Well, I mean, the Fire have done. I mean, Colton's done extremely well. We discussed about the fact that he's doesn't seem to have signed up for the new season, and he's done remarkably well. 6-4, yeah. Good squad. The game against the Sharks, though, that's going to be really interesting because Ben's got the number one offense, number one overall offense, but he's got the worst defense in the league.
Yes.
So how that's going to pan out is.
Yeah, we're going to have a chat about that one in a minute. What about the 66ers? They made it through by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, it literally was by the skin of their teeth. Yeah, I mean, again, done well to get there, but we kind of backed into it rather than best foot forward.
Yeah,
Todd left Craig a really strong defensive a defensive unit.
Yeah,
very strong against the run because he plays two defensive ends with strength and plays in two gap usually, so they're very difficult to run against. But I think it's about since week 5 or 6, he's running back Black got a couple of injuries, might have been an F or a G, so he's changed his mode again because that was his main method of attack, running, and he seems to have gone a bit more past because there's no other option for him. And I think that's going to be a difference. I don't know. It's going to be a low-scoring game because their defense is tough. It's really difficult to move the ball, especially if you want to run the thing. Yeah,
well, should we have a look at the playoffs? I mean, the one thing before we move on, it's pretty interesting. Our league there, Colin, the old LFC North, I am propping up the bloody league. With a 5-5 record, which I do feel a bit aggrieved about, but it does show the strength of that league. It's unbelievable.
40 points difference.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I think there's only one other league in the whole of Gridiron, which I think is in the GFL FC North, is it? Where the bottom team is also on 5-5. But to be quite honest, Chris, if you've got a 5-5 record and finish bottom, it's a bit much, I think. I want to change divisions.
I dream of it. Kev. 5-5 and finishing bottom.
Yeah, but no. But it was a sort of tight league. So let's have a look at forward at the playoffs then. The first game, Fire against the Sharks. Let's have a chat about that because they've already played each other once in the start of the season, and the Berlin Fire pipped the Sharks by 2 points at the Sharks' home ground. Do we think there's going to be any change there?
I think it's just going to be a high-scoring match. Turnovers will be the key, I think.
Yeah.
Sharks can't defend, but they certainly can throw. They certainly can throw the ball.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a high-scoring match, and I think it might be one-scoring. It just depends on turnovers.
Yeah. So who are you picking?
I'm going to go for the Fire.
Going to go for the Fire. Chris, your views on it?
I don't know how much advantage being at home is. It's so close. I'm going to go with the Sharks.
You're going to go with the Sharks. Okay, so sorry, Ben. That's the kiss against
you, Ben.
Even though the Lakers have it close, they've got it Sharks by 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is going to be a very, very close thing. But we shall see. We've got a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a wait. What I was going to ask actually is during this wait, no injuries get recovered, do they? So it's just exactly as if it was a 1 week gap, isn't it? Yeah. So it's just like a normal one. Okay, and the other one that we alluded to earlier on was the 66ers against the Weasels. We reckon that could be a low-scoring game.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We'll say Weasels. Very good division win, but the 66 defence is rock solid.
Yeah. Have the Weasels got an aerial attack, or are they primarily? Because they've knocked up quite a few points, haven't they, in the season? Weasels. I'm just looking at the old inside the numbers.
"24 pass, 1,800 yards, 4 rush, 1659, 15 overall, third best pass defense and second best rush for the best defense overall. Giving up, gosh,
Yeah,
just over 1,700 yards all season.
because
It's going to be a low scoring thing.
Yeah, the Weasels have lost Gunn as well, haven't they? He's out with an injury. They're running back.
Yeah.
So that could make a difference. I mean, it is 21 touchdowns he got, so that's going to make a difference in the game.
So who are we going for, Chris? Who are you giving the kiss of death to?
Yeah, who will I give the kiss of death to? I don't know. The Leeds offense isn't great. Their defense is. Weasel's defense is great, but he's lost his starting running back. Going to be close, isn't it? I would have thought. I can't see there being much in it.
Anyone any idea what the spread is looking like?
Spread is 20 for the Weasels.
Oh, that's a bit high.
Yeah. I think I might do a prediction this week, because I think that is a bit generous, to say the least. Because if you look at the 66ers, they haven't let that many points go past them. They've got a very good defense. So you both going for the Weasel?
If you knock off the points that I put past them, they're very, very stingy for defense. And I struggle to put those points past them.
Yeah. So you both going for the Weasels?
Weasels, yeah.
Yeah.
In a close affair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So we've got two close affairs in the LFC. Let's switch across the PFC. The Maroons against the Bay Packers.
Well, looking at the records alone, it's hard to see past the Packers, isn't it? Well, I don't know. What Packers are 5th on offense, 13th on defense. Yeah. And a very difficult game for the Maroons.
Yeah, and Tom is sort of always there or thereabouts, isn't he? He always game plans quite well. Scott's Maroons. It'll be. I mean, there's no way Scott's going to throw in the towel. He'll give it everything he's got. But as you say, I think the Packers might have too much. Cole, what do you reckon, mate?
I think the Packers will have got enough. But I hope it's another good close game.
Yeah. And the last one of the quartet would be the Surfers against the Eagles. Lost it.
Yeah, Surfers against the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah. So what do we reckon?
I'm keeping out of this because it's a kiss of death, so I'm staying out of it.
I'm thinking the Surfers myself. They're going to win.
I was going to say Gary's had one of his better seasons, hasn't he? As of late, he's been building for quite a bit. One of the problems, to a certain extent, is the Eagles. I don't know what sort of run-in they've had, but from what I've seen, they've sort of romped it quite easily with an 8-2. There've been a couple of games where they weren't at the races. Whether that was a deliberate sort of plan or whatever, I don't know. But again, it's difficult unless you're keeping tabs of all the injuries and all the rest of it.
He played me, and I think I'd let him have 3 points. My defence was quite good against him, and then he lost the last game. I thought it's the 9th game as well. So, but the Andy's power rankings. Thanks, Andy, for doing it every week. But it does put that Andy's division, the PFC South, right at the bottom of the power ranking. So Yeah, I think the Surfers have got enough in it.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, in fairness, though, the Eagles only lost to yourselves and the Rapiers. And the Rapiers was only, what, 2-3 point game? So, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. See who's got the momentum, as they say. So those games are played in 18 days' time, something like that. 18, 19 days' time, whatever it might be. Nearly 3 weeks. Yeah. What happens after that? Who will you be playing then? Do you know, or is it a draw?
I'm going to be playing? I'm going to be playing the winner of Weasels 66s, was it?
Yeah.
I think that's who I'm playing. Let me just have a quick check again.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be playing the winner of the Weasels and the 66s at home.
So how's that worked out then, Colin? Is the first name changed to the Fire, and the Sharks play the number one?
Yeah, it's 4 versus 5, 3 versus 6, and then 1 versus the winner of 4-5, and 2 versus the winner of 3-6.
So that's basically
who plays the lowest.
Yeah, so that's the Maroons and the Packers against the Rivets. Is that right? Yeah, and Tom's delighted with that again.
It's going to be the Eagles or the Surfers versus the Rivets, I think.
Is that the way around? Is it?
Because it's Newcastle of 4th seed, Surfers of 5th, so it's going to be the winner of Newcastle Eagles versus Surfers. Or enjoy a trip to Venice.
Trip to Venice, I'm sure they will. Oh well. So we're getting closer and closer. Okay, so PFC conference winners. Let's have a pick from you. Are we seeing anywhere past Venice?
No. I've watched Conrad's team. He's playing with Lomo, something that I couldn't do, and he's thrashed virtually everybody. 2 close games, one against the Weasels. But the Weasels weren't really in it. Conrad always had the score in hand, and then I think he beat the Packers by 10, 30-40, I think it was.
Yeah.
If the Packers had won that and got home field advantage, that might have helped. But with Conrad's Lomo gone now, because it's in the playoffs, I think he's going to be the team to beat.
Yeah. Yeah, and so again in the LFC, let's take you off the spot, Colin, and we'll ask we'll ask Chris. Chris, who's going to be the conference champs in the LFC? You reckon?
Oh well,
and you can just forget Collins here.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you can't forget Collins there because surely he's got to be the favourite. Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah. I'm not blowing smoke up your Colin. I just think that you come up time and time again with the best game plan. Yeah, so I think that's how it's going to all pan out, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think you'll get there, and then
there's 5 good teams left in it as well as me, so we'll see how it goes. You never know; somebody might get injured in the next game.
Well, don't say that.
If you're a one-shot pony, that's the end of you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to sort of suggest anything or mention any sort of first week game, but I seem to recall that the Phoenix got one over on you.
They did indeed. I lost last kick of the game.
Yeah,
2 points. Conceded a safety somewhere in the game.
Yeah, that was a bit of a strange
one. I thought I had him, and then he did. I think it was a 51-yard breakaway.
Yeah,
with a minute and something to go. And then that big breakaway, a bit later, and a kick. There he is. But I was suffering a bit of Lomo.
Yeah.
So I thought a level off everybody. I didn't. It wasn't the worst performance I've ever seen. In it to the last kick of the game.
Yeah, no, I think if that is, and I don't mean any disrespect to the other teams, because you say we've got some very good teams there in the playoffs, but if it is between you and Ian, that will be a fascinating game, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to stop the run a bit better this time.
Yes, it'll be the master against the new boy. But we're getting ahead of ourselves there. There are lots of other games to go forward. Okay, guys. Well, look, thanks very much indeed for your contributions, for your look at what's happened during the season, what's about to happen. Going to wish everyone a happy Christmas, you guys as well, and basically we'll all be back, hopefully, God willing, in the new year with the regular BS of the week. So, Colin, thanks very much for coming and joining us, mate. Have a lovely Christmas.
And you too. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Kevin. Happy Christmas, everyone. Best wishes.
Same to you, Chris. Have a great Christmas, mate.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and see you all in the new year. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yes.